Welcome to the Scottish Rite Journal podcast, an audio presentation of the Scottish Rite Journal, brought to you by the Supreme Council of the Scottish Rite, Southern Jurisdiction, Mother Supreme Council of the world. This message brought to you from our Sovereign Grand Commander, Jim Cole, 33rd degree, is called Ripple Effects and comes from the September-October 2019 issue of the Scottish Rite Journal.
Hello, Jim Cole here, Sovereign Grand Commander, and I want to read with you an article from the Scottish Rite Journal. However, I want to remind you that all of the articles of the journal are available online at our website. This article was published in the September-October issue 2019. The title is Ripple Effects. As a young boy, I greatly enjoyed fishing, especially on a small pond on a friend's farm. I used a night crawler and a little red and white bobber. I learned that if I did not pay attention to that little bobber, I could miss catching a fish and lose my bait. It always amazed me how just a little nudge on the hook below the water could move the bobber on top of the water and create ripples for several feet. At age 11, a job transfer precipitated a move from our home near Asheville, North Carolina, to the Salem, Virginia area. After searching without success for a residence, my parents stopped at a country store where the store owner, Roy Graham, upon learning of their plight, indicated that he had a rental unit coming available the very week they needed to move. In fact, he had only just learned of that vacancy a couple of hours earlier. A month later, on the day we moved in, Mr. Graham visited our home and asked my mother if she would like a job. Remembering she was an insurance agent in North Carolina, he reported that he knew of an opening with an insurance agency located 1 mile away at the local bank on whose board of directors he served. The agency was owned by the bank president, Jim Pierman Sr. She actually began work 4 days later. The Grahams and the Piermans became great friends of mine, with Jim Pierman Jr., a CPA, convincing me to enter the accounting profession. Just after my 25th birthday, Mom suggested that I consider joining the Masonic Lodge. Though neither of us had any knowledge of Freemasonry, she said, "Almost every good man I know in the community seems to be a Mason." I agreed to consider joining one day. But then the next day, my mom called and told me to drop by for a visit, and I did. Mom handed me what I found to be a petition to the local lodge, signed by Jim Pierman Sr. and Jim Pierman Jr. A few weeks later, I met in the lodge room with, among others, worshipful brother Roy Graham, who had closed his store, which had been located on the first floor of the lodge building. After joining the lodge, I became very good friends with the Tyler, who was Virginia's Grand Senior Warden, John Obenjane. 2 years later, as Grand Master, he appointed me to the Grand Lodge Finance Committee, and my Masonic career picked up speed. Later, John, who was a personal representative in the local valley of Scottish Rite, approached me with a petition for Scottish Rite, which he said, I quote, must join in order to obtain additional benefits from Freemasonry. A fish nudges a hook that shakes a bobber, creating a ripple across a still pond. A tired couple stops at one of several country stores, meeting a kind man who helps them, beginning a series of events that led directly to this article being written. Every day in life, we probably miss a lot of opportunities to create a positive ripple effect in a person's life. When we answer a phone call, our tone can significantly change the caller's day. When we hold a door for someone, when we share someone's load, when we actually greet someone passing us on the sidewalk, we can pour just a tiny amount of light into a life that may truly benefit. Today, stop for a minute from your hurried pace and reflect on your opportunities to make a positive difference, to perhaps create a ripple effect of your own. Many of the small touches that we attempt may not be fully appreciated by the recipient, but we can be assured such efforts will create a smile on the face of our Supreme Architect.
If you would like to hear more of the Grand Commander's message from the Scottish Rite Journal, like, share, and please leave a comment.